Question, Sir James Cleverly.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To ask the Secretary of State for Housing, Communities and Local Government if he will make a statement about local government reorganisation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I'd like to thank the right honourable gentleman for his question. Nearly 21 million people in our country are served by complex two-tier structures that divide responsibilities, slow down decisions, duplicate costs and blur accountability. Sure. The government's aim on local government reorganisation is clearer structures, stronger councils, quicker decisions, more homes and better services. We have set out the timetable. We are on track, and this includes making announcements on the remaining areas this week. My officials have written to councils to confirm the announcement will take place this week, and I am pleased at the progress made so far, with unitary councils for 5 areas announced and elections held in Surrey. Structural changes orders are being brought forward as planned, and we are on track for new councils to go live in April 2028. £63 million worth of funding is available to support transition costs, which we are paying directly to councils. Each new council will receive at least £900,000. This is the first time funding has been made available by central government for this purpose, because we need to get these reforms right. Local government reorganisation offers an opportunity for our communities to give local leaders the funding, powers and capacity to grow economies, build the homes their communities need, create better public services, improving the lives of the people we serve. And I thank the right honourable gentleman for the opportunity to set that out.
Sir James.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We've all watched this particular film before. The Secretary of State, who once again scurries away to avoid scrutiny, tried to cancel local elections. And he was caught putting his thumb on the scales and was forced into an embarrassing climb down that cost time, it cost money, and it undermined confidence in politics and local government. And he's setting about the biggest reorganisation of local government in more than half a century, and is doing so with no mandate for a change of this scale. And now ministers appear to be desperate to avoid scrutiny by announcing these decisions on the final day of sitting before the House rises for summer recess, a pattern that we have seen before. And the minister insists that these new shadow authorities, the elections for shadow authorities, will take place next year. But we also heard that the elections for county mayors was going to happen of May of this year. And spoiler alert, Mr. Speaker, they didn't happen. They didn't happen. In many areas, there is still no agreed authority boundaries, no ward boundaries, no legislative timetable. How are councils, candidates and electors supposed to prepare for elections without these key details? And, Mr. Speaker, why is it that Labour councillors are allowed to redraw the boundaries of the very authorities that they hope to represent before any independent review by the Local Government Boundary Commission? And if this process is not about narrow party political advantage, why were Labour MPs and councillors briefed before this House was? If the elections are to happen next year, the government must bring forward the necessary legislation before the House rises. And so I ask that the government breaks with tradition and is open and transparent, avoids diktat from the centre, or is it really the legacy of the Secretary of State to leave things in such a shambles?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the right honourable gentleman for his question. He said I was desperate to avoid scrutiny. I'm a minister too. I can answer. I'm sure the Secretary of State would agree with me that I have answered a number of Westminster Hall debates on this issue, and we've had debates upstairs on SIs too, and that's absolutely right. Members in this House will have an opportunity to question the government and put their views forward, and they have done already in Westminster Hall debates and on other occasions. And I don't know if the right honourable gentleman missed the point that I said that we are going to make announcements on the remaining areas this week. So I would simply ask him, well, the day will be decided by the usual channels, and I wouldn't deem to presume decisions taken by the usual channels and by the Speaker. But I would simply say to the right honourable gentleman, if he just has a little patience, then he can give me another go at this when I make the announcement very soon.
And just tell the House there's no point taking everybody. It's going to be a short brief because we're going to do it all on Thursday when we'll have all the facts before us. If I'd been told earlier, this wouldn't have happened. So there we are. So let's go to the Chair Select Committee. Florence Session-Lowe.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I pay tribute to the Right Honourable Member for Braintree for securing this urgent question. The reality is LGR is very complex and involving so many different councils, over 200 councils and services, and delivering services to millions of residents right across the country. And I know that my honourable friend the Minister is very able and capable, but there are real concerns being raised by local government. Is she aware of the concerns and comments from the new chair of the LGA, Councillor Eamon O'Brien, where he said that the LGA have previously not taken a position on LGR, but they are hearing from councils about real delivery concerns. This is an area that we've looked at on the Select Committee, where we've raised issues around standards across the housing sector to deliver measures, right measures like the Renters' Rights Act and enforcement. And the LGA raised 6 concerns about these reforms are trying to do too much too quickly with too little. And this poses a real challenge for the vital services that councils and residents need. So can the Minister ensure that the concerns of the LGA are being heard across government and that reorganisation will never take resources away from those critical frontline services, including adult social care, children's social care, that so many of our residents rely on?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the Chair of the Select Committee for her very important contribution. I meet regularly with the leadership of the LGA for all the reasons that she mentions. These reforms matter so much because councils do very important things. And we've heard from both the Child Poverty Strategy and the Milburn Review the cost of fragmented services to some of the most vulnerable children and young people in this country. So getting this right really matters. As I've said, Mr. Speaker, we've allocated £63 million already to support councils, and I'll have more to say on that very shortly.
Liberal Democrats spokesperson Zoe.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We Liberal Democrats support genuine devolution because decisions are better made closer to the communities they affect. Yet this Labour government's approach has been top-down, Whitehall diktat from the very start, with councils undermined, residents barely consulted and communities left in the dark about the future of local services, all while councils continue to face significant financial pressure. And I'm deeply concerned that with the member for Makerfield expected to saunter into number 10 within days, members of this House, councils and residents have no clarity about the approach to local government reorganisation that he will take, whether the parameters will change and whether future local elections will be cancelled yet again. So, can the Minister tell the House what discussions she has had with the member for Makerfield about his plans for reorganisation, and will she commit today that no further local elections will be cancelled?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think the Liberal Democrat spokesperson asked me what conversations I've had with the member for Makerfield. I mean, mainly about Everton and Liverpool FC, I'm afraid, Mr. Speaker. Resign. Yeah, indeed. But I can say to her that the work of this government to secure devolution and to reshape local government so that we can grow our economy, build homes and serve our constituents properly has been thought through carefully and is proceeding in line with the timetable. And I am sure that all of us, whatever our views in this House, want to see that succeed.